Hello, welcome to Yoga with Bless. I'm Bless, and today we're just going to do a fun creative flow. So, when you're ready, you can join me on your mat. We'll start seated today in an easy pose. So, come to whatever seated position feels comfortable to you. And then take a moment just to settle in. Let your spine grow long. Let your crown of your head reach up towards the sky. Sit bones firmly rooted into the ground. Hugging that navel into spine just a little bit. Hands in a comfortable resting position on your knees or in your lap. And then just tune into the breath. Notice how it feels on the inhale and the exhale without trying to change it or control it. Just taking a minute to notice. You can close your eyes or rest your gaze gently on a point in front of you. And once you've kind of taken stock of what your breath feels like as it naturally moves in and out, you can start to deepen the breath, sealing the lips, breathing in through the nose all the way into the belly, and then filling the chest and exhaling all the way out through the chest and the belly. One more time, deep inhale through to the belly, up to the chest, and exhaling back out. And then as you gently blink your eyes open, if they were closed, on an inhale, we'll raise the arms up over the head. And on an exhale, drop your hand to your knee and the other hand behind you for a gentle twist. Looking over that back shoulder. And then on your next inhale, come back to center. Take that same arm that was resting on your knee underneath the other arm to come into eagle arms. Trying to get your palms to touch. If this isn't available to you, you're welcome to just hold on to opposite shoulders. Otherwise, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, lifting the elbows up to the sky. Gaze can go slightly up. Just getting a little opening in the back of those shoulders. Exhale to come down. And then drop your hands back to your knees and push the top of your back and your heart back into space behind you. And then inhale to come back to center, release the grasp, switch the cross of your legs, and we'll do that again. So other hand reaching for opposite knee, hand behind you at the base of your spine, sitting up tall, easy twist. Looking over that back shoulder. Navel hug gently to spine. And then coming back to center, the hand that was on your knee goes under the other arm, coming into eagle arms or hands on shoulders. Shoulders dropping away from the ears, elbows lifting up towards the sky. Gaze can lift up, going into a gentle back bend, opening the back of those shoulders. And then releasing the hands down to the knees, keeping the cross of the arms, and then pulling on your knees, pushing your heart back into space behind you. And then inhaling back to center. Just roll over onto hands and knees, however you can get there. Taking a moment here to stabilize so you can keep your toes tucked or untucked, totally up to you. Hands are stretched with fingers wide on the mat directly below your shoulders. Navel's tucked into spine, straight line from the crown of your head out the base of your spine. And then we'll raise the right leg. Toes stay pointed to the ground. And on an exhale, bring your knee into your chest. Inhale to stretch back. And then lower your chest and chin down to the ground as far as you can go. Leg raises. And then push back up. Exhaling to pull your knee into your chest. Inhaling, kick that leg behind you. Elbows bend. Trianga, push up. One more time, knee to chest. The leg goes out behind you. Elbows bend. Trianga, push up. And then lift the left leg, left arm directly out in front of you and just hold here, hugging that navel into your spine, keeping a straight line from the reach of your hand to the push of your foot. One more breath here. Exhale to bring it all back down. And then on your next inhale, lift your left leg up, toes pointed down to the ground. Exhale to bring the knee into your chest. Inhale to kick it back out behind you. Exhaling to come down. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale back up. One more time. Knee to chest. Trianga push up. And then hold here at the top. Right arm comes out in front of you. Navel hugs into spine. Straight line of energy from the tip of your fingers to the heel of your foot. Exhale, release everything down to the ground. Tuck your toes, come back to child's pose just for a moment. Arms stretch out long in front of you. Forehead meets the ground. Take 1 or 2 breaths here. And then come back up to hands and knees. Arms should be out in front of your shoulders so that you can push your hips up and back, coming into a down dog. From here, you can pedal out your feet, lifting one heel and dropping the other, bending one knee and then the other. Making sure your fingers are still spread wide. Index fingers pointing directly towards the short edge of your mat. Kind of a right angle between the thumb and index finger. Shoulders away from the ears. And when you're ready, you can just settle into this, lifting both heels. You might get a little pop, a little snap. And then pushing those heels down towards the ground. You can keep your knees slightly bent here. And then on your next inhale, raise your right leg up to the sky. Exhale to step it all the way through to the front of your mat. Inhale to come up to lunge. Exhale to open up to warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat. Right leg sweeps up to the sky. Walk your hands back to meet your left leg, your left foot. And just hang out here in a standing split. Keep your toes pointed straight to the ground. And then exhale, we'll bring the right knee behind the left and squat into a Shiva squat. Inhale to lift the leg back up. Your leg may be low, it may be high, just keeping those toes straight towards the ground. Exhale, again, Shiva squat. Inhale, back up. Exhale one more time, Shiva squat. Inhale, back up. Exhale, see if you can bring that foot all the way through in front. Woo! To a pistol squat. And then walk yourself towards the front of your mat into a low lunge. You may need to adjust your foot here. And then exhale, coming back into a half split. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half split and hold. You may need to walk your foot out even further in front of you, trying to get a stretch through the back of that leg. You can play around with the position of your foot, moving it from one side and then to the other. You can point it towards the outside corner of your front of your mat. Trying to keep the back straight. Lifting it up, and then we'll come back into that low lunge. Lifting the arms off the mat, sinking down into it. You can lift the arms up higher, looking up, coming into a little bit of a back bend here. Inhaling to come back up. Exhale, plant the hands beside each side of that foot. Lift the back knee and then come into an easy twist. Right arm reaching up. And then bringing that right hand to your hip. You may need to lower the back knee here, or you can keep it up. We're going to turn into a side plank on our left hand. And then lift that right leg up if you want. Place the foot behind you and go ahead and come into a wild thing here. And then exhale, coming back through side plank to plank, knees up or knees down. Lowering down to chaturanga. Inhaling to a cobra or an up dog. Exhaling, pushing back to down dog. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. So lifting the left leg, bringing the left foot through to the front of your mat, opening up into a warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat. Lifting that left leg up into a three-legged dog, and then walking your hands back to frame the right foot. Keeping the left toes pointed to the ground. And then on an exhale, we'll bring that left knee behind the right, Shiva squat. Inhale to lift it back up. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale to lift it back up. Exhale one more time, squat. Inhale to lift it back up. And then we'll try again for this funky transition, which I have yet to master. Trying to come into a pistol squat with the left leg out in front of you. And then pushing forward into a low lunge. You may need to bring that left foot a little bit further out. Exhaling, half split. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half split, and hold. Again, you might need a little bit more space here. Make the pose fit your body. Trying to keep a flat back. Just looking for that stretch. You can play around with the position of the foot, moving the toes from one side to the other. You can point the foot toes towards the outer corner of the front edge of your mat. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, coming back forward into that low lunge, arms up high, sinking into it. Stretch the arms up and back for a back bend, gentle back bend. Exhale, bringing the hands to frame the front foot. You can lift the back knee, lifting the left arm up to the sky. Easy twist. Exhale to bring that left hand to your hip as we move into a side plank on the right side. Hips are square, left hip over right. Then you can lift that left leg, drop the toes behind you to push up into a wild thing. Before you bring it back to your side plank, to plank, knees up or down, chaturanga, up dog or cobra. Exhale, coming back to your down dog. Holding here just for a few breaths. And then on your next inhale, raising your right foot, stepping it through to the front of your mat, opening up to warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Exhale to come into a side angle. Inhale to reverse, straightening the front leg, reverse triangle. And then straightening your arms out on either side of your shoulders, flipping that front palm, reaching forward before you drop down into triangle pose. So hands are in one straight line, reaching down to the ground and up into the sky. If you want to bring that top arm into a diagonal, you're welcome to. Creating a straight line of energy from the back heel out the front, reaching fingertips. And then inhale, bend into that front knee. Reverse your warrior again. Exhale to bring it to a skandasana, or a side lunge at the back of your mat. So bending into that back left knee, coming all the way down into skandasana, or hovering in a side lunge, whichever is accessible to you. Walking your hands around to frame that back foot. Lifting the left leg up. Bringing the left knee to the left elbow. Lifting it back up. Left knee to right elbow. And back up. Left foot steps all the way through to the front of your mat. Coming into a high lunge. Hands back down to the mat. And then you can bring that left foot again to meet the right. Side plank. To plank. Chaturanga. Or knees, chest, chin. Up dog or cobra. Exhaling back to down dog. And this time, lifting the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bring it all the way through to the front of the mat. Inhaling to open up into warrior two. And then inhaling to reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale to straighten that front leg, coming up into a reverse triangle. And then coming up to center, stretching both your arms out from your shoulders, reaching forward with that left hand, dropping it down to the mat, reaching up with the right, coming into triangle pose. Shoulders away from the ears, arms reaching strongly towards the ground and up towards the sky in a straight line. If you want, again, you can bring that top arm into a diagonal, creating a straight line of energy from the back heel out the front fingertips. And then inhale, reverse your warrior. Straightening that front leg, coming back, bending into your right foot, coming all the way down into Skandasana, or staying in a side lunge. And exhaling to bring yourself back around to the original front of your mat, framing that right foot, lifting the right foot up to the sky. Right knee, right elbow. Right leg lifts up. Right knee, left elbow. Right leg lifts up. Exhale to bring it all the way through to a high lunge. And then bringing your left hand down inside the right foot, opening up into an easy twist. We'll come back again into that side plank. To plank. To chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Up dog. Exhaling to come back to down dog. Taking a few breaths here to reset. And again, we'll lift the right leg up. Step it all the way forward. Coming up into a high lunge. And then bring that back knee up into a one-legged standing. Crossing the left foot over the right thigh. We'll come down into a figure four chair pose. Hands can stay at the heart or hands can reach up to the sky. Sinking down into it if you have more space. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Arms lifted up to the sky. Inhaling, bringing the knee back up to your chest. Exhaling to kick through warrior three. Holding here. And then dropping the hands back to the mat. Now you can see if you can get a little quad stretch by reaching your right arm around to grab the left ankle. Then kicking in, opening up to your right. Little twist, little quad stretch. Releasing, hands back down to the ground, stepping that foot all the way back behind you, bringing both hands inside the right foot. We'll come to a lizard pose. So you can drop the back knee or keep it up. You can stay lifted. You can drop your elbows. Finding what feels good to you in this pose. And then dropping the back knee if it wasn't dropped. Coming up onto your hands if you weren't already. Bring that right foot down kind of right in front of your hips. And then sink your hips down to the ground. See if you can lift them back up on an inhale. Exhale to come back down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to come back down. Inhale up and hold. Circle back around to the front of your mat. Right leg kicks back to plank. Vinyasa. Coming back to down dog. Left leg lifts. Exhale to bring it all the way through to a high lunge. Then bring that right foot up to the front, standing one-legged. Crossing the right knee over the left thigh, we'll come back down into that figure 4 squat, or figure 4 chair, rather. Again, hands can stay at your heart or lift up to the sky. Keeping that navel to spine. Sink down into it a little more if you have space. Then coming back up to center. Moving into warrior 3. Holding here. Exhale to drop those hands and frame the left foot, half split. And then if you went there on the other side and you want to do it here, reaching the left arm around to see if you can grab that right ankle, lifting up, pushing the right foot into the left hand, opening up to the left. And then releasing, dropping the back toes to the back of your mat. You may walk that left foot out just a tiny bit so you can get both hands inside the left foot. Dropping down into a lizard. Again, find what feels good here for you. You can keep the knee lifted or lower it to the ground. You can come down to elbows or stay lifted. And then if you have lowered down, bring yourself back up to your hands so you can walk that left foot down your mat just a little bit till it reaches about where your hips are. And then turn onto your right hand, dropping your hips to the ground. Reaching that left arm out and up to lift the hips. Exhaling to bring it back down. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling back down. Inhaling to lift. Bringing that hand all the way back to the front of your mat. Left foot goes back to meet the right in plank pose. Lower down your way. Vinyasa. Back to down dog. And now just drop both of your knees to the ground beneath you. Coming back onto your heels. See if you can kind of catch your right heel with your right hand as you lift up into a half camel. Exhale to bring it back down. Switch sides, inhaling half camel. Exhale, bring it back down and switch sides. One more time each side. And then when you come back down, reach your hands back behind you, fingertips pointed towards your feet, and push your hips away from your heels, getting a stretch through those shoulders. Careful not to let your head and neck crunch back, staying supported. And then gently lowering the hips back down, sweeping the arms out in front of you. Coming back to a child's pose just for a breath. And you can bring your arms down beside your feet if that feels better, to release your shoulders a little more. And then if they weren't stretched out in front of you, stretch your arms out in front of you. Gently roll onto your belly. Bringing everything down to the ground. And then bringing your arms out straight above your head. Bend into your left foot, left knee, and grab the left ankle with your left hand. And then we're going to lift everything up on an inhale. So taking an inhale and an exhale to prepare. Your next inhale, kick that foot into the hand and just lift the right arm and leg off the ground at the same time. Half bow pose. Holding one more breath. Exhale to release. Both arms out in front of you. Then we'll switch sides, grabbing the right ankle with the right arm. Inhale and exhale to prepare. On your next inhale, lift everything up, kicking that right foot into the right hand. One more breath. Release. Make a little pillow with your hands to rest your forehead. You can bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet back and forth. And then rolling over onto your back. We'll come in for just a little bit of ab work. So stretch your legs out straight down beneath you. Lift your arms up over your head. Then see if you can just lift your shoulders and your ankles off the ground. Holding here. Exhale to release. Inhale, bring everything back up one more time. Shoulders and feet up off the ground, arms above your head. If this isn't accessible, you can bring your arms down beside your thighs. Exhale to release. And then bring your right foot up, straight above you. Grab on to the back of that calf. Flex the feet towards your face. Shoulders should stay relaxed on the ground. And then you can release that, switching sides. Right leg straight out on the floor in front of you, grabbing the back of the left thigh or calf. Left toes pointed towards your face. Getting a little stretch. And then we'll switch, this time bringing the forehead up towards the leg, shoulders off the ground. And then just switch legs back and forth here, letting the bottom leg hover if that's available to you. Exhaling to stretch. Inhaling to switch. Two more times on each side. Feeling those lower abs engage. Last time. And then bring both legs up. Flex the feet towards your face. Reach your arms up towards your feet. And do 10 pulses, lifting towards your toes. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees into the chest. Drop your head to the ground. And then drop the feet flat on the ground right in front of your hips. We'll come in for a bridge, or you're welcome to go into a full wheel. Hands down beside your hips, palms flat on the ground. You might be able to reach your ankles, your heels. And then just making sure your feet are parallel, hips width apart, knees right over your ankles. And then on your next exhale, you'll slowly roll your hips and back up off the floor, pushing into those hands, and then tucking the shoulders underneath, pushing your chest towards your chin and pulling your chin slightly away from your chest. And then if that feels good and you want to, you can create a fist underneath your hips, rolling your shoulders down under you even more, pushing up even more into the glutes and pushing the chest and reaching the chin away. And then exhaling to slowly lower everything back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then again, you can just sway your knees side to side, opening your feet a little wider if that feels good. And then crossing the right foot over the left thigh, coming in for a little figure four stretch again, reclined kind of a pigeon stretch, pulling that top knee in towards your chest. You can push that right knee with your right elbow to get a little bit more stretch through the hip as you pull the left thigh into your chest. And then keep the right knee up as you drop the left leg to the ground straight down below you. And then just hug the right knee into your chest. You can kind of bring it out a little bit and see if you can get it to go kind of towards your shoulder, armpit, and then bring it back into the chest. See if you can stretch it back down again to the side, kind of beside your ribs, and then back into the chest. And one more time, just kind of stretching that hip flexor. Next time you bring it to center, you can bring it out a little bit and keep your left hand on that knee. We're going to come into a supine twist. So lifting your hips, scooting them a little bit over to your right as you drop that knee to your left. Right arm can come out straight beside you. Gaze can look over the right arm. And then we'll bring everything back to center. Dropping the right foot to the ground, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, coming in for that figure four stretch. Reaching through to the back of your thigh. Again, left elbow can kind of push into that left knee to get a little bit more stretch through that hip. And then when you're ready, you can drop the right leg out straight, keeping the left knee in, hugging it into your chest, and then kind of pulling it over towards your armpit, side of your ribs, and back into center, squeezing it in, and back out to the side, to center, into the side. And the next time you come back to center, keeping the knee in the right hand, dropping the left arm out beside you, scooting the hips a little bit over to the left as you drop the knee over to the right. Supine twist. Your gaze can go out over the left shoulder, letting gravity do the work here. bringing everything back to center, taking any last poses that your body's calling for, maybe a happy baby, maybe a plow pose or a shoulder stand. You decide. Taking about 1 minute here to just get the last stretches and wiggles out before we come down to Shavasana. And then when you're ready, stretching your legs out long beneath you towards the outside corners of the bottom of your mat, arms out beside you, seeing if you can make space in your armpits to get your arms out away from your body. Resting the back of the hands on the floor or palms on the floor if that's more comfortable to you. Taking up as much space as you need. Stretching one leg and then the other. Tucking your chin slightly in towards your chest to keep a long cervical spine. You might tuck your shoulders under just a tad. And then we'll take some deep belly breaths. Again, in through the nose all the way down to the belly and chest. Hold at the top. Exhale slowly all the way out. Inhaling again all the way down to the belly. Up through the chest, holding at the top. Then slow exhale all the way out. And then just letting go of the breath. Letting the muscles fall away from the bones. Feeling where your body's making contact with the earth below you. Letting gravity take over. Releasing the forehead and the eyes, the mouth, the tongue and the jaw. Releasing any tension out of your neck and shoulders, arms, hands, chest and waist, near back and your hips, thighs, knees, calves and shins, ankles, feet and toes. Everything relaxed. And just seeing if you can be still here, noticing the breath, letting your thoughts go as they come, not attaching to any one of them. And then just letting those stretches and movement incorporate into your body through any new places of openness that you've made through your practice. Just be. staying here as long as your time allows. Otherwise, you can winkle your fingers and toes. Taking a full morning stretch. Hugging your knees into your chest. Rolling over onto one side. Just savoring in the moment before you come back up to seated. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. I hope the rest of your day is amazing. Namaste.